This conference will now be recorded.
All right, you ready? Yes, sir. I'd like to call this meeting to order. If you would stand with me for our pledge and our invocation. I'm going to ask Commissioner Kelly to lead us in prayer.
Most gracious Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day. We ask you to be with us as we conduct the county's business tonight. We also ask you to be with those that are sick with COVID or sick with the flu. We have a lot going around this county, Lord, and you know the names. And Father, we just ask your blessing upon them, care for them. We ask you to bless our military and our first responders. We ask that you would watch over us and to help us make the right decisions for your pleasure. And we'll ask this all in the name of our Lord Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
At this time, before we move into our meeting, we have the judge here, and we're going to have a swear-in ceremony for our three commissioners that are one new. Brian, I welcome you to the board, and Commissioner Moore and Commissioner Kelly, if you would, if you'll come down front, and we'll turn it over to the judge.
All right. If I could have the new commissioner and the returning commissioners, if you would please come down here. And I know some of you have family here, and if you want your families to come up here and be a part of this, certainly they're welcome to come up here as well. Anybody you want to come up? Come on.
There you go.
Wow.
Yeah, I looked up, I got my head.
Got the bright, pretty bunch up here on the end, I'll tell you that. First of all, I want to congratulate all of you, first of all, for being willing to serve. For those of you who are returning, continuing to wish to serve, as we all know what a sacrifice that is. Commissioner Moore, you've been doing this for many years. Mr. Kelly, this is your second term. Congratulations. And Commissioner Williams, we want to welcome you to public service, and we look forward to the contributions that you will be presenting for this county. We know you're going to do wonderful things on behalf of everyone. So congratulations to you, and to the families, thank you for letting them serve. We know what a sacrifice that is, and it is only right that you be up here, because everything that they're going to have to go through, as you well know, and you're going to find out, the families are also going to be a part of this as well. So it is only right that you be here today. What I'm going to do at this time, I'm going to ask that you each raise your right hand. And I'm just going to ask that you repeat after me. I do solemnly swear.
I do solemnly swear
that I will support, protect, and defend
that I will support, protect, and defend
the Constitution and government of the United States
the Constitution and government of the United States
and of the state of Florida.
and of the state of Florida.
That I am duly qualified to hold office
That I am duly qualified to hold office
under the Constitution of the state.
under the Constitution of the state.
And that I will well and faithfully perform
And that I will well and faithfully perform
the duties of county commissioner
the duties of county commissioner,
on which I am now about to enter.
of which I am now about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations to you all.
Thank you.
To Commissioner Waldrop and to Commissioner Martin, we always appreciate the service you provided, and thank you for allowing me to be a part of this.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, Jeff.
Appreciate you, sir.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, thank you.
Okay, we have, one item we need to add on to our, discussion today, and this will be item number 4, and this will be a small budget amendment request, and I'll bring Mr. Washington up on that. And you have one, Ms. Pickles, will be on number 5, or you want to do it?
It's time sensitive. This is actually to do with the ambulances. The one that we're currently having constructed, they're getting ready to order decals and everything, and there's been a request from the fire chief to include In God We Trust on the ambulances.
All right, we'll put that in item number 5. Okay? Does anybody have any additions or deletions to that agenda? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to accept all of these. Motion by Commissioner Martin, second by Commissioner Kelly. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Carries 5-0. We're going to, we have Erica. I know Erica's got a real short presentation for us today. Erica, we're going to jump over to you real quick and take care of yours. That'll be item number 3, an update on the CARES Act funding. If you'd come forward and bring us up to speed, please.
Good afternoon.
Hello.
Welcome. So as you know, we have completed phase 1 and phase 2 of allocations for CARES Act funding. Madison County was awarded $3,242,416 in CARES Act funding. We were provided, the county was provided advance funds totaling $1,459,087. Madison County is in the process of completing the required request for RIV. So that is, once those are approved by the state, it will release your opportunity to access the phase 3 funds, which is the remaining $1,783,329. As in the previous phases, you were to approve a spending plan and submit a spending plan. That is not required for phase 3. But we are looking for some direction from the commission, and we have some recommendations as far as how that allocation could be utilized if you so chose. The first recommendation is to identify existing county expenditures that are related to COVID-19 that have been paid and delivered. The most important thing now, I am sensitive to the fact that you have approved a budget, and you probably don't have $1.7 million that you can outlay out of your budget. And so by utilizing the existing internal county departments who have the cost categories of public health and safety payroll, public health, and PPE, that would be an easy way that you could access those phase 3 funds, and you wouldn't be expending anything that you haven't already expended. The second is we want to include sub-recipients from the first 2 phases who did not meet the deadline for documentation, so we would just roll that over so we can substantiate and get those dollars validated. The third recommendation is that, as you know, we've been working with the Small Business Assistance Grant Program, and we are in the process of wrapping that up. It'll conclude next Tuesday on the 24th. And based on those eligible businesses, we propose that we include those grant awards in that phase 3 fund. The fourth recommendation is for you to consider supporting entities outside of the county if they're willing to expend funds and await reimbursement by the state. Based on our initial conversations when creating those spend plans, outside entities shared future cost needs. Recently, the school board and town of Greenville have inquired with the clerk of court related to possible support through the CARES Act funds. So it is at your discretion if you want to choose to do that. And then finally, the other recommendation as far as potential allocation is for the DSI administrative costs, which would cover November and December. And so our team is feverishly working on getting all those phase 1 and phase 2 dollars validated. So as soon as we have all of that proof of delivery and proof of payment submitted with the state, we can start submitting those RFRs for consideration. And so we're needing your guidance on how you want to proceed as far as utilizing those funds. And I don't know if Billy has anything else.
I've just got one caveat thing, and so I put this out on it before y'all that came from Erica. This is, basically what she just told you is what is on this sheet. In it, though, she did say that the funds were provided in advance, totaling $1.459087 billion. That's the phase one, phase two, the 25% and the 20%. We still have not received the 20% yet. I just want to make that abundantly clear, because I'm going to get 500 phone calls, like I do every week, about it from businesses. We have not received that money yet, so I cannot write a check yet. But I'm just letting people know that we know they've applied. As soon as we get money, we'll write checks.
Eric, on that, any question on phase two, any insight on when the state will release phase two monies?
So I have asked every week. We were on a live call, and I said, when do you think we'll be getting those funds? Because we actually submitted that request and were told that we were eligible, it was like November 1st or, so you can imagine, and each week they've told us that it would drop, the funds would drop, and Billy, I've been calling him. And so I reached out we have a county liaison that's appointed by the state, and asked them if there was anything that they can do. And his response was Friday, and I said, well, I can tell you right now, the clerk of court has already looked at it, and it's not included in his allocation. So I'm doing the best I can to advocate with the state, but unfortunately, I don't control the disbursement unit, but we continue to be told that it will be released any day now.
Okay. Does anyone have any questions of Erica? Or I know we've this is pretty much the process that we were following through, and we had actually sent back to the school board last week, if on their request, if they wish to purchase those items, we would be a pass-through. And I think we would be willing to do that for any of the municipalities that have desires or needs. We would actually be glad to do the pass-through and reimburse them as the funds are reimbursed back to the county.
Absolutely. Okay.
Is that agreeable with everyone?
That's what we talked about last time, yes.
Okay. Do we need to, I guess we can do that on consensus, just to give you an idea of what the process the board is wanting to follow?
Yes. And I think it is also authorizing Sherilyn to reach out to county departments to actually access existing, I know she's already working on some public health and safety payroll, but to open that request to existing departments.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, sir.
I would only caution, and I think I've said this before, I think our first priority is to public health and safety. And I know, the Under Sheriff, Richardson was here about some things concerning our jail. And I think we need to make sure those items are prioritized ahead of anything else. I'm not discounting small businesses. The businesses need to have it, but I think our first and foremost responsibility is to the citizens of Madison County health and safety.
Absolutely. Any more comments or questions or concerns?
Michael, you had your hand up.
Forgive me, I realize the press was not part of this discussion, but one of the things that I had been asked to do was to please do a front page story about the CARES Act. And Clerk of the Court of Washington was very helpful about giving feedback. But when the 20% hasn't even come yet, and phase 3 was all about reimbursements, and I put in there that corrections in your school district were your priorities, but that I had not received any feedback from anyone. I just wanted to make sure that when that goes out, that was accurately stated, which sounds like it's very much in line with what you're stating.
Absolutely not.
But forgive me, I didn't mean to.
No, sir, absolutely, not a problem. You know, and that's the main thing, and with Clerk Washington is we've approved these expenditures on small businesses, and we don't have the money, and it was contingent on the money coming in, and people are calling regularly looking for their money, so.
And the money's gonna come.
Sure.
I mean, it's there.
It's coming.
You know, I say it all the time, I don't like relying on the state for things, and, you know, it's just what it is. It is what it is.
Yeah. Briefly, the terminology we used was that because phase 2 money had not yet arrived, it made the situation problematic, and that there were few organizations that could afford the financial outlay first in the hopes of reimbursement because they weren't sure when it was gonna come.
Okay. Anything else for Erica while she's here? Erica, we thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Erica. Another fine job.
Okay, thank you. We're going to, move into the number two. We'll just go back up. Number two is a resolution 2020-1120, and it's supporting affordable and reliable high-speed internet through Florida. This is something that, we just need a resolution. The fact that small county coalitions, are both working hard to get this to the legislature and get this to the governor, that the dire need that we have for broadband. And, it's brought out now that they're asking each county within the state to sign this resolution to go back to Tallahassee. So we're hoping that strength in numbers, if all the counties in the state, reach out, that we'll get their ear, that they'll listen, that we are, COVID really has shown us just how limited we are with broadband. So, if that would be the consensus of the board to accept resolution, I'll actually discussion on that before we go to a motion.
Mr. Chair, I think we need to go ahead and do it. I did hear some information earlier in the week where some of the cabinet members are opposing the M-Course project, but to my understanding, the broadband corridor is supposed to be with the project, so hopefully we can move fast forward with this. And if a motion is in order,
I'll entertain a motion.
I motion that we accept/approve this resolution.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Moore, second by Commissioner Kelly to approve this resolution and it's time sensitive because we want to get it back in as soon as possible. Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Carries 5-0. We're going to move in now to item number one. This is consideration of a letter of agreement for development on the site on Northeast Centenary Way by True Leave Centenary Way. Tommy, Mr. Reeves, are you online with us?
Yes, sir, I am.
I'm going to turn this over to you at this time, Mr. Reeves.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and first off, I want to thank everybody for allowing me to appear by phone. A member of my staff has tested positive for COVID, so we're all on quarantine, so I have to do all this by phone. But anyway, this item is on a proposed letter of agreement that was in the packet. The proposed letter of agreement, there's about 60-some pages of it. The actual letter of agreement is only 4 pages, 5 pages of substance, and then it's got building plans attached to it. Also included in the packet are 2 letters, one from the building official and one from Mr. Bruce Jordan, the fire inspector. What I'd like to do is kind of tell you big picture what's going on and then actually get into some of the details. So big picture is that the True Leave Company is a company that produces medical marijuana here pursuant to a license. They're licensed by the Department of Health, and they produce medical marijuana, and they've got a facility now presently in Gadsden and in Jefferson counties, and they're looking to put a grow facility here in Madison County, not a facility to sell, not a facility to process, but a grow facility. As you can see in the letter, it's at 424 Northeast Centauri Way, which is on the way to Jasper and Hamilton County, before you get to the Nestle plant and all that. It's out in that side of the county. So they've got a contract to buy a piece of property, and they're wanting to get some assurances as to the position of the county on them bringing that facility to Madison County. The facility, for regulatory purposes, is a little, it's one of these things that's kind of neither fish nor fowl, because there are statutes that specifically exempt non-residential agricultural buildings from both the building code and our zoning land use code and comprehensive plan. But the True Leave facility is going to need certificate of occupancy under the Department of Health's rules. So if they're outside of our building code and outside of the zoning, how do we give them a certificate of occupancy? And that's kind of where we've come from in drafting this letter of agreement. And Mr. Boutier's there, and he's the attorney for Trulieve, and we've working with staff and working with the building department and the fire inspector have kind of come up with something that we think will work, and we want to recommend it to the board. So first off, on the letter of agreement, the letter of agreement, if you start on the first page, it just kind of talks about generally what's going on, that they're wanting to bring the facility to Madison County in the specific parcel. They intend to construct 1.35 million square feet of grow facilities. They're looking to create over 300 permanent jobs, plus the construction jobs, all of that. The parties agree. If you look at the bottom of that page, it starts with our agreements. Basically, the agreements, and in my opinion, these are all accurate statements of the law, that the buildings are non-residential farm buildings. A farm building, for the purposes of 604.50, which is the statute dealing with, that gives the exemption to non-residential farm buildings from our building code and from our comp plan and land use code. That statute defines them, farm as a farm is used to produce the food and fiber and those types of things that you would normally have with a farm, including plants including marijuana. So I think it very plainly falls under that 604.50. These also fall under the exemption under 553.73 NC. That's an exemption in the building code. And most of the buildings are going to fall within a statutory exemption to the fire prevention code. If the builder or the owner represents that the occupancy is limited to no more than 35 persons, the buildings are exempt from the fire prevention code. Most of the buildings, except for the one type of building, the automated agricultural building, they've made that representation, so they're exempt from the fire code. So if they're exempt from all of this, what are we agreeing to? So if you'll look, the next thing it says, kind of leads us through what we're agreeing to. The first is they've attached a site plan. The site plan has two site plan options, depending on whether they want to go with the larger automated agricultural building or just have a series of the smaller buildings. You all are approving that attached site plan, not going through our normal site plan process, which it doesn't have to under the exemptions. The next thing they did was they went ahead and submitted the plans that they used in Jefferson County for their buildings, and our building department and our building inspector and fire inspector have looked at those plans and are satisfied with those plans as to what they need to do and what they need to show. The point of that was those aren't the actual plans that they're going to use here in Madison, but they will likely be very, very similar, and so it shows them what they have to do in order to meet the requirements here in Madison. Then we agree that we're going to process the building permits and all that very quickly. Trulieve is looking to get started very quickly on this. Part of that 60-some pages are the various building plans and building sheets, and they're all listed out there that that staff has approved and is recommending approval. That's what the letters from Rick and from Bruce included in the packet are doing, is that's showing that they recommend that. Concerning the automated agricultural building, you'll look on page 4. We've got a statement that everyone understands that's not exempt from the fire prevention code. They have provided plans. We all agree they meet the present requirements of the fire prevention code. Bruce had a concern. He wanted to be sure there was an alarm system, an occupant notification system. Trulieve's agreed to that. TruLeave's agreed. Bruce also recommended a numbering and labeling system for the buildings. TruLeave has agreed to that, and that's set out in the letter. We have agreed that we intend to, even if the fire code changes, we intend to judge it based upon the present fire code. However, this building's not exempt from the fire code. So if the future version of the fire code says we have to apply something retroactively, everybody understands that we do. We're going to issue the COs. They're going to provide as-built. Oh, and then number 5, they've agreed to voluntarily pay a fee of 17 cents per building square foot. Again, this development is exempt from our building code and land use code and everything, and so we had to agree on a fee, and that was what we had agreed to. They understand they have to pay the interim fire assessment fee like every other development. And I think that's it. That's what we've kind of come up with so that they can get their COs and try to do that in an orderly fashion that protects the life and health of the workers. I know that's been Rick and Bruce's big concern is they're wanting to make sure that what we're approving protects everybody, and they have given us letters saying that they believe it does. So I think, I'm happy to take any questions. Certainly I am recommending that the board enter into the letter of agreement and approve it. I think, Mr. Chairman, what would be appropriate, it would be to let Mr. Boudier go ahead and make whatever presentation TruLeave would like to. And then once he's concluded that, y'all can ask whatever questions and certainly open it up to the public if anybody in the public wants to say anything.
Thank you, Mr. Reeves. Reggie, if you would like to come forward and introduce your staff that's with you, your group, and give us your presentation, please.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
At this time, I'd like to my client. She's got a great presentation she'd just like to go over with you, Carrie Larson.
Hi.
How are you?
Good.
So first of all, to the county attorney, Tom Reeves, and Mr. Sherilyn Pickles, as well as building official Ben, clerk of court, and staff. So we are, I want to go ahead and introduce my team, which is myself, Carrie Larson. I'm the Director of Real Estate for TruLeave.
Mr. Chairman, you may want to mute the phones. We're getting feedback on the phone lines.
If you would, please mute your phones, if you would, please.
You good? Okay. So Reggie Boudier, as you know, is TruLeave's outside counsel, and he is working also with Tom Reeves, Gordon Oakley, construction manager over our grows in Northeast Florida. We also have Ben Grass, who is the owner of Grass Construction, and he is also a project manager. So we would like to do a short presentation today. First, I want to let you know that we're very excited about this project, and we're very excited to be partnering with Madison County, bringing some positive economic impact to your county. So when we wanted to just highlight a couple of things for you, we are going to be pulling in at least 342 jobs for our grow with the types of positions that will be created are team leads, building leads. We'll need plant health supervisors, managers. We'll need maintenance, site administrators, and a regional cultivation manager. And so these 90% of the positions that will be created will be the ones that do not require the college degree. The only one that requires the college degree is going to be the cultivation manager, and that's how we will work with your community to create the jobs here. And then, as you know, when we bring those jobs here, then those jobs will create more jobs. So the other thing that we wanted to point out, we had some questions about lighting. Their lighting at the facility in the evening should be no more than a parking lot. And then the irrigation is probably the only thing. As far as there were some questions for pollution, not really any pollution from this facility because it is just irrigation for agriculture. So, and then my team is available for any other questions.
Do you have any questions at this time that any commissioners would like to bring up?
I don't have any questions, but I'm excited about the project from what
Yeah.
I witnessed over in, our neighboring county. Just want to welcome you all to Madison County.
Thank you. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, I would echo Commissioner, Moore's comments. I was very impressed with the tour we had the other day, and, I fully support this project. I thank you for coming.
It was quite a treat to take a tour of that facility. It's state of the art. It's very impressive. And I look forward to it. I'm going to open it to the public. If anyone in the public or on the phone lines, I'm going to open the phone lines. If we have any questions or comments, I will entertain those. Once again, I have opened the phone lines. If anyone has any questions or comments, I welcome your comments.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir. Please state your name.
this is Betty Johnson. How are you?
I'm wonderful, Miss Betty. You have.
I would like to say that I oppose this project, and I don't think that Madison County needs any such development in this county.
Okay.
Do you
Thank
have
you.
any questions you'd like to ask me or comments?
No, ma'am, not at this time. I don't. Thank you, Miss Betty. Do we
Well, I'd
have-
like to also add that I don't think that y'all should be taking any action today in a special meeting regarding this matter. It should be held in a regular meeting where everybody can attend.
Okay.
And I really don't think that y'all should be considering a letter of agreement.
Okay.
This should be done under the comp plan and pursuant to development code.
Okay. Thank you
So
for-
I do oppose this project, and I ask you to vote no.
Duly noted, Ms. Johnson. Thank you for your comments.
Thank you.
Do we have any more comments from the audience or online? Hearing none, I'll open it back up to commissioners for comments or action.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, sir.
I move that we approve this letter of agreement.
Motion made by Commissioner Moore, and seconded by Mr. Martin to approve this letter of agreement with True Leaf. Any discussions? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Covers 5-0. Welcome to Madison County.
We appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. All right, moving to our next issue would be number 4. This would be, you have a copy of a budget amendment. I'm going to turn this over to Mr. Washington.
At the last meeting, we presented a few budget amendment requests, that were just amending our budget from last year to the actual amount. This was just one that got left out for general fund. Katrina just got it to me today, so I wanted to bring it over because we have a window of time that we have to approve those for the last year's budget. And this is just amending the budget to the actual amount that we collected.
Have any questions or comments or action? I'll entertain a motion to accept this budget.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Kelly, second by Commissioner Williams. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Carries 5-0. Next, number 5, this is going to be Ms. Pickles.
Yes, and actually Chief Clayton's here,
Okay.
so if he'd like to come forward and discuss the.
He's kind of shy.
It's not like I'm starting my career talking now. Pretty much, what I'm coming to y'all today for is just asking, can we put someone either on the sides or on the back of the ambulance on the back door front of Madison County and God We Trust? If you want me to elaborate on that, I can, but I don't think there's no need to.
Mr. Chairman, motion is in order, so moved.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Kelly, second by Commissioner Martin. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? 5-0.
All right, I appreciate you.
Any target time while you're out, any target time on delivery on?
Good news is, December the 14th, me and Michael, Deputy Chief Raines will be going out to pick it up December the 15th. Hopefully be back in Madison County the 16th.
That's wonderful.
We'll feed everybody when it gets here.
We don't wanna ride it, we just.
Yeah, we'll feed you, just come take a picture.
Don't come pick us up, just.
Yeah,
That's right, that's right.
We'll arrange our own
Don't call
transportation.
it late for dinner.
All right. Welcome, Commissioner Williams.
Thanks,
Glad to have you.
Thank you, Chief.
Appreciate it.
Okay, that is number 5. At this point, that's all that we have on our list. I'll open up to County Manager Pickle. Do you have anything to bring before the board?
We, conducted interviews for the executive assistant position yesterday, and an offer was made and accepted this morning. Ms. Julie Adams will be the executive assistant, and she plans to start November 30th.
Mr. Billy, you have anything from the clerk's office?
No, sir, I do not.
Mr. Reeves, do you have anything from the attorney's office?
No, sir, not unless you have questions of me.
No, sir, we just hope that, you get through this quarantine with, no positive tests, sir.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
I'll start with commissioner comments. I'll start with Commissioner Kelly.
I'll pass.
Mr. Martin? Mr. Williams?
I appreciate the welcome, and,
You have 30 minutes.
30 minutes. I don't think I need that much time. I don't know if I was talking as much as he does, but, no, I appreciate the welcome, and I hope that our relationship is a good one.
So, good. We look forward to it. Mr. Moore?
I'll yield my time, Mr. Chair.
Well, I have nothing from the chairman. This will be my last, chairman's meeting, so, we'll start over in December, and, Commissioner Moore will get the reins, so I look
Who
forward.
will be the vice?
You're 3, big one, who's in 4?
Commissioner Martin.
4, right? Okay, Martin is the big vice.
Good.
All right, if I hear nothing else, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Second.
So,
We stand adjourned.